Let's stay on the couch, put your head on my chest, and don't make a sound. We can turn off the phone, forget about the world, 'cause there ain't one damn thing in it that compares to you, girl. I seen the California sunset, I seen the hills in Tennessee, I seen the beaches down in Florida, I seen in Georgia evergreen, I seen a blue sky in Kentucky, I seen Colorado Springs, but none of those things are pretty as you. Girl, I can't stand it. Let's move this upstairs. Let me take these two hands, run them through your hair. All these things I wanna do are running through my head. Leave your dress in the hall, rip the sheets off the bed. I seen the California sunset, I seen the hills in Tennessee, I seen the beaches down in Florida, I seen Georgia evergreen, I seen a blue sky in Kentucky, I seen Colorado Springs, but none of those things are pretty as you. No, they ain't, baby. I seen the California sunset, I seen the hills in Tennessee, I seen the beaches down in Florida, I seen Georgia evergreen, I seen a blue sky in Kentucky, I seen Colorado Springs, but none of those things are pretty as you. Girl, none of those things are pretty as you. No. Let your hair down and let's stay on the couch. Put your head on my chest and don't make a sound. We can turn off the phone, forget about the world, 'cause there ain't one damn thing in it that compares to you, girl. I seen the California sunset, I seen the hills in Tennessee, I seen the beaches down in Florida, I seen in Georgia evergreen, I seen a blue sky in Kentucky, I seen Colorado Springs, but none of those things are pretty as you. Girl, I can't stand it. Let's move this upstairs. Let me take these two hands, run them through your hair. All these things I wanna do are running through my head. Leave your dress in the hall, rip the sheets off the bed. I seen the California sunset, I seen the hills in Tennessee, I seen the beaches down in Florida, I seen Georgia evergreen, I seen a blue sky in Kentucky, I seen Colorado Springs, but none of those things are pretty as you. No, they ain't, baby. I seen the California sunset, I seen the hills in Tennessee, I seen the beaches down in Florida, I seen a Georgia evergreen. I seen a blue sky Kentucky. I seen Colorado Springs. But none of those things are pretty as you. Girl, none of those things are pretty as you know. Baby, let your hair down and let's stay on the couch. Put your head on my chest and don't make a sound. We can turn off the phone, forget about the world, 'cause there ain't one damn thing in it that compares to you, girl. I seen a California sunset, I seen the hills in Tennessee, I seen the beaches down in Florida, I seen in Georgia evergreen, I seen a blue sky in Kentucky, I seen Colorado Springs, but none of those things are pretty as you. Girl, I can't stand it. Let's move this upstairs. Let me take these two hands and run through your hair. All these things I wanna do are running through my head. Leave your dress in the hall, rip the sheets off the bed. I seen a California sunset, I seen the hills in Tennessee, I seen the beaches down in Florida, I seen in Georgia evergreen, I seen a blue sky in Kentucky, I seen Colorado Springs, but none of those things are pretty as you. No, they ain't, baby. I seen a California sunset, I seen the hills in Tennessee, I seen the beaches down in Florida, I seen Georgia evergreen, I seen a blue sky in Kentucky, I seen Colorado Springs, but none of those things are pretty as you. Girl, none of those things are pretty as you know. Baby, let your hair down and let's stay on the couch. Put your head on my chest and don't make a sound. We can turn off the phone, forget about the world, 'cause there ain't one damn thing in it that compares to you, girl. I seen a California sunset, I seen the hills in Tennessee, I seen the beaches down in Florida, I seen in Georgia evergreen, I seen a blue sky in Kentucky, I seen Colorado Springs, but none of those things are pretty as you. Girl, I can't stand it. Let's move this upstairs. Let me take these two hands and running through your head. All these things I want to do are running through my head. Leaving dress in the hall, if the sheets off the bed. I seen a California sunset, I seen the hills of Tennessee, I seen the beaches down in Florida, I seen Georgia Everglades, I seen a blue sky in Kentucky, I seen Colorado Springs, but none of those things are pretty as you know they ain't, baby. I seen a California sunset, I seen the hills in Tennessee, I seen the beaches down in Florida, I seen Georgia Everglades, I seen a blue sky in Kentucky, I seen Colorado Springs, but none of those things are pretty as you. Girl, none of those things are pretty as you know.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and we are live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the FretJob. It's a live talk show where we dig into the bones of the guitar world, and our discussions touch on pretty much anything with strings. The FretJob is broadcasted live from Frizzell Guitar at 228 Jane Trail, Danville, Kentucky. Kentucky's premier guitar store, full-service luthier shop, and the home of Frizzell custom-built guitars, handmade by master luthier Brandon Edwards. Speaking of Brandon Edwards, I'm going to introduce you now to my co-host, the master luthier at Frizzell Guitars and the owner of Frizzell Guitars, Mr. Brandon Edwards. What's up, Brandon?
I don't know about master, but I'm pretty dang good at what I do, so it's just a passion put back in each guitar. But welcome, everybody, to the FretJob. My name is Brandon Edwards. I am one of your hosts here at the FretJob, located at 228 Jane Trail, home of the best guitars you could ever think possible. So we're going to dive into today's great episode. And by the way, this is my co-host, Jonathan McWhorter. He is one of the greatest guys you'll ever meet, one of the baddest guys to ever blow on a harp, and one of the baddest guys to ever play 6 strings. So without further ado, Jonathan McWhorter.
What's up? I'm glad to be here. And
so if you all go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say we're going to kind of start out like we usually do on a local, right? On our local spotlight.
I'll start out with my local.
Go for it, man.
All right, so my local spotlight today is going to be Los Rodeos. So go down to Los Rodeos, ask for Ozzy, tell him that I sent, Brandon at Frizzell Guitar sent, and he will serve you up some of the best food you've ever eaten in your life down at Los Rodeos.
Hey, I like Los Rodeos, man. I go down there pretty often.
Yeah, so spread some spotlight on Ozzy, the owner there. He's a good customer of ours, and he's got a great smile always on his face when you're there. And actually tonight is karaoke at Los Rodeos. So go down to Los Rodeos, get you some grub, and get down, turn around, boot, scoot, and boogie.
Hey, man, karaoke. I used to go down to, back when we had that Reno's Roadhouse, I used to go down there for karaoke all the time, man. Karaoke's fun to watch, man. It's fun to...
You going to go sing some karaoke tonight?
I probably won't do karaoke tonight, but I've always kind of wanted to. Every time I've been at like a place where they're doing karaoke, I've always kind of wanted to jump up there and do it, but I've never have done it, man.
So when Jonathan, when he sings karaoke, by the way, he sings them Shania Twain covers. He sings them Britney Spears covers.
Yeah, right.
and so go ahead and give your local spotlight. Then we got a news segment that Jonathan don't know about.
Cool. Throw me a curveball there.
On purpose.
My local spotlight is a local bank, and it's PBK Bank, which is People's Bank of Kentucky. And PBK's been around since 1906. Actually, it was People's Bank of Houstonville when it first started in 1906. It's a great bank. It's a good local bank. I've been banking there for a long time. I like it. If you get needing a loan or something like that, go down there and give one of their loan officers a call and talk to them. Give them a chance because they'll take care of you. But yeah, check out PBK Bank. That's my local for the day.
So I kind of threw her. Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me this curveball.
Yeah,
I'm
excited. I threw him a curveball here on purpose because he's the butt of this, so I can't keep him in. But I'm hoping to start a new segment here, and this segment is called "Is Your Fretboard Drier Than Jonathan's?" So we're going to start this new, and we're going to do once a week. We're going to throw. You can send us in your dry fretboards, your dry bridges, and is it drier than Jonathan's Pono?
My fretboard's not that bad. Is it drier than Jonathan's Pono bridge?
Yes.
It might be what you want to say.
Yes, so I just want to pick a little fun on him, and he didn't know it. So we're going to start this once a week. So submit in your pictures of what you think, and we're going to say, does it beat Jonathan?
All my fretboards on all my guitars, none of them are dry because they're full of sweat.
They're full of his
from
finger cheese
from
and
all
sweat.
the hard work.
All the finger cheese
practice.
and sweat, yes. So I thought that was funny to mention, or something funny I thought about this week. And I thought, you know what? We're going to do this because pick a little fun at Jonathan.
So send some pictures. Send us some pictures of your dry bridges and fretboards.
And we're going to see, and I'm going to compare and see if it's drier than Jonathan's Pono bridge.
Hey, my Pono bridge is looking pretty good now.
Finally. I'm kidding.
So I'm kind of hyped up about what we're going to talk about.
What are we talking
I'm
about?
excited
I think
about
I kind
it,
of
man.
forgot. Tell us.
Oh, I hope you didn't forget because we'll be in a jam if you don't know the topic. But what I understood we were going to talk about is some of the top luthiers and guitar manufacturers today and of the past, I guess. But most of these, I think about all of them are still going today that we're going to talk about. But we're going to talk about some of the old schoolers, some of the big timers, your C.F. Martins, and your Gibsons and stuff like that. That's what we're getting into today. So let's talk about the history of these makers, and let's talk about what they've been offering to us for all these years.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to start. I'm going to start this off, and we're going to start this off with our ever-trusty friend, Orville Gibson, and the Gibson Guitar Company. So all of you there on the screen, you can see a picture of Orville Gibson next to my head. This way here. Got to find which way to point. There you go. So, yeah, this is Orville Gibson. Young man. He started building banjos, mandolins, and guitars. So, which all you that don't
Tell them
know.
that little piece of information you gave me earlier. That I didn't know that, man.
So, he had no formal training. He just created a whole new style of mandolins that are still used today with no training.
This blows my mind.
Yeah. So he started in 1894 in his home workshop in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and patented his idea for mandolins in 1898. With no formal training.
So you've been working on guitars. You've been trained to work on them. You went to school. You've learned all this stuff. Can you imagine going into it blind like he did?
Yeah. So he, with his curved top and bottom carved shape rather than pressed out and bent, arched like the mandolin. So I guess he took like the watermelon back, and he kind of made his own. And the sides were curved out, and they were louder, more durable than the contemporary fretted instruments. And musicians soon demanded more than he was able to build in this one-man shop. So I mean,
it's turned into such a legacy, man.
So he decided it turned into such a legacy that 5 Kalamazoo businessmen formed the Gibson Mandolin Guitar Manufacturing Company in 1902. Within a short period, the company was started. The board passed a motion that Orville H. Gibson be paid only for the actual time he worked for the company. After that time, there was no clear indication whether he worked there full-time or as a consultant. But Orville had various visions and dreams that were considered eccentric. I mean, he and his company used music teachers to market the instruments and strong print advertisements to displace the round-back mandolins. that Martin was making.
When was this? Did you specify a year when all this started going down?
1898.
1898.
1894. He set out to make he changed the mandolins that Martin was making, and he kind of started his own thing. And
man, it never ceases to amaze me, these old companies like Gibson and Martin.
Yeah.
What they did back then and how relevant all of it still is today, man.
Yeah, for sure. So according to George Gruen, the idea of carving the instrument's tops and bottom appears to be originated with Gibson, and is not based on guitar building tradition, although inspired by the carving of violins.
Yeah.
He did not use violin manufacture techniques or pattern to build his instruments either.
I guess he developed his own technique.
We will be right back, guys. Frizzell Guitars, Brandon speaking. Let's go back. All right, y'all. Sorry if you heard my phone ringing there. Sorry.
Gotta take care of them customers, man.
Yeah. So we're talking, So his company, with the help of instrument designers and sound engineers, most famously like Lloyd Albert, produced the Gibson F5 Mandolin, which is known as the finest flatback mandolin ever produced. Albert designed the L5 guitar among changes that are still mandolins are used, and the guitars are used by bluegrass musicians to this day.
Oh yeah,
Starting in 1908, Gibson was paid a salary of $500 by Gibson Mandolin Guitar Manufacturing Company, limited equivalent to $20,000 a year in modern terms. He had a number of stays in hospital between 1907 and 1911. In 1916, he was again hospitalized and died on August 19, 1918, 62 years of age. So just imagine this, okay? Just imagine this, okay? Imagine if he was still alive, not necessarily up to this day because he'd be really old, but imagine if he was alive in the 60s and 70s or the 80s.
I mean, he could have saw the fruits of his labor, man. I mean,
where it is today, it's incredible. Absolutely.
He had no clue what he was creating really back then. I mean, it took off and become so much bigger than just a little guitar outfit. I mean, it became a big deal.
I mean, he really pioneered.
And the Gibson name is synonymous with quality instruments. I mean, their banjos, their mandolins, their guitars. You said the L5. I'd love to have an L5, man.
Lloyd Albert. He was an American musician, designer. He was sound engineer. He's best known for the mandolin Gibson in the earlier 20th century, including the F5, L5. I mean, he was a pioneer just as much as everything else. And
I'm sure these people, our viewers, they've probably saw the Lore company that's out there now, that's his namesake company or whatever. I haven't played any of their instruments, but I heard they're pretty decent for the money.
What is it?
The Lore Instruments, the Lore Guitar Company.
Now Heritage Guitars out of there, but let me tell you what. Let me tell you something here. Those smokestacks, that original Kalamazoo, that is history. That is absolutely history in the making itself. I'm going to show you some of his guitars on screen that he did here. or some stuff. So this is his factory. I know my face is being covered by this, but I don't care. This is his original factory workshop where he built his guitar. He built his stuff. He built crazy designed instruments and stuff that are just wild.
Crazy, man.
It's absolutely nuts. So here's the slideshow. It's kind of covering our face here, but this kind of shows everything that I guess, well, we are about. So it's got pictures of him.
If I look like I've got a blank face, it's because I can't see the pictures, guys. So
yeah, so he made crazy designs, and actually Luna has the crescent with the moon, or the crescent moon with the. Gibson invented that. That was his original logo or his original design. So, and you see there the Gibson Mandolin manufacturer in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I mean, that was insane. I mean, he had a legend. And you look at this one, it's insanely crazy. I mean, it's huge. He made a mandolin, and it's like just wow. I mean, he just made some pretty incredible.
I saw some beautiful mandolins made. You know, saw some beautiful F5s out there, man.
Have you seen the? You probably can't pull it up on your phone. See it, could you?
On what?
Your phone.
Pull what up?
Pull up the string and see if you could see it.
I probably can.
Yeah. We're going to have him pull it up here and see if he can look at it here. Those of you that are watching on YouTube, you can see it here.
What do I need to be looking up here?
Just on the page. You can see the slideshow on our video.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, so I mean, he really pioneered some great things. I mean, what do you have to say about like his influence? How has it impacted? How do you think it's impacted the music world today? The guitar building world, luthier world. How has Orville impacted people to this day?
Well, I mean, without Gibson, obviously there's no Les Pauls out there.
For sure, definitely.
So just try to imagine a world where Slash plays a Strat or something. It doesn't exist. You can't imagine that.
Yeah, or imagine a world where Bill Monroe plays a Martin mandolin.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it doesn't make sense when you think about stuff like that, because Slash, he's a Gibson guy, man. I mean, without Gibson, I don't know. I'm sure he would be a famous guitar player and all that, but he wouldn't have the sound he has right now if it wasn't for Orville Gibson.
For sure.
But yeah, and Gibson's one of the big ones, and there's others out there too that are less known, that are awfully influential out there in the instrument world. Are you ready to move on to another one right now?
Yeah. So can you see that? You see some of those?
Yeah, I can see. And we'll bounce around a little bit here, guys. But right, I do have one that I do have one I'd like to talk about, and I'm not going to talk about the obvious one first, because we just talked about one of the big names, Gibson, that everybody knows about. All your guitar players, all your instrument aficionados, they all know about Gibson, but they might not all know about this next guy, and that's John D Angelico. And for those of you that don't know who this man is or was, he was a New Yorker of Italian extraction. After learning his luthier skills from his great-uncle, an eminent violin and mandolin builder, he established a shop of his own in the Little Italy district of his home city in 1932. There, he and a small number of assistants and apprentices crafted handmade arch-top guitars based around 4 model types: Style A, Style B, XL, and New Yorker. And I'm not going to get this real close to the screen because I don't want to knock my camera out of focus, but I will give you just a little peek at what a D Angelico looks like right there. Can you see that, Brandon?
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. I can see it perfectly.
But yeah,
everybody
that's
knows
what a
D Angelico is. Everybody, I mean, It's iconic. I mean,
I don't know if they do or not, though. Because I don't hear very many musicians mention D
Guitar Center's
Angelico.
packed full of them, so
They are now, but when I first learned about who John D Angelico was,
you never heard of one.
Well, I mean, yeah, you couldn't go to Guitar Center and buy a D Angelico a new one back then because they didn't make them. They quit making them for years, and then I think some guys actually bought that name and brought it back to life.
Yeah.
But the original D Angelicos, they're, Brandon and I yesterday we talked about these guitars, and I was to the understanding when I first learned about them that it's hard to even find an authentic one to even look at or photograph. But they have become a little easier to get your eyes on now, and we saw that yesterday looking around at them. But we found one that was close to $40,000 yesterday.
That is insane.
But it was
guitar.
gorgeous, man. It was
really
gorgeous, though. I mean,
y'all comment. Let me know what your all's thoughts on all these stuff is. We just got done
they're kind of rich
about,
boy toys.
Yeah, we just got done talking about Orville Gibson and his influences. Now we're talking about John D Angelico. So I mean, there's a lot. So
he had an apprentice as well. Like when he died, I forgot what year he passed away. Whenever he passed away, he had one and one only apprentice. It says right here. This information, guys, I'm getting from the Illustrated Directory of Guitars. It's a cool book. You should try to find you a copy of it. His last guitars were assembled by his apprentice, Jimmy D'Acquisto. So I don't know if you guys have heard of D'Acquisto guitars. After D'Angelico's death, D'Acquisto, who lived from 1935 to 1995, he established his own business, and he also continued to produce the XL and New Yorker arch tops that were created by his mentor, D Angelico. And I want to give you one little example of how it evolved. I mean, so D Angelico had that classic look, and D'Acquisto also made
picture.
those.
Okay, you're showing
I'm
us
getting
now.
ready to show it to you.
The sound holes kind of remind me of something Rickenbacker would do.
They do, and if you really look at that design, yeah, it pays homage to the D'Angelicos, but it has a little bit of a
modern feel.
I feel like it's a little more modern, so
futuristic.
Yeah, and I never played one, never had the
so
opportunity to play
are you
one,
ready to
but
move
I'd say
on
they
to the next one?
play like butter. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
what
so
you got?
We're going to talk about the next guy. He doesn't need no stand of applause. Everybody knows him. He founded Music Man Guitars, G&L, and also he started Fender Guitars. We're going to talk about good old Leo Fender. And Leo is up on our screen.
You can't even talk
here.
about guitars without speaking.
So
of
Leo's on our screen here. Leo pioneered the guitar. He started out in 1950, in the 50s, early 50s. He pioneered. He made the Notecaster. 1954 was the release of the Stratocaster. I mean, he pioneered guitars. And he had Fender guitars up until 1965 till he sold to the CBS company. And it's like, oh, CBS, a news company bought a guitar company. But Fender was popular, so CBS wanted their hand, and he sold. That's when he went on to Music Man and all that good stuff and blah, 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 blah. But
and, man, you talk about quality instruments, even in those endeavors. I mean, it's unreal. Like, I saw some Music Man guitars that, I mean, wow. They were high-quality stuff, man.
Yeah, for sure. So
G&L, too. Do you like G&L's guitars?
Yeah, I love them. I've played several. I played some vintage G&Ls like back in the day.
Yeah, I've only had my hands on one or two of them, but I really like what I saw.
Let me know your comments. I mean, Fender guitars are iconic. They're still made today. They're not made in Fullerton. That's where G&L. It's kind of like, Heritage and Kalamazoo and then G&L and Fullerton. But talk about the fact of, let's go back and let's talk about this. Let's talk about the fact of when they moved to Corona, California, now it's all made. They got the custom shop. I mean, it's just good, clean. I mean,
good stuff.
Good everybody wildly knows and recognizes a Fender guitar. I mean, everybody knows them.
Yeah.
I mean, Fender has he pioneered stuff. He pioneered the bolt-on neck, basically.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, Justin, he had a Fender Corona, California Telecaster, man. It's ash body, clear,
I've had
natural
one here,
finish.
yeah.
Oh my goodness, man! He loved that guitar, and I did too. It was a nice piece.
I mean, you got Stevie Ray Vaughan, Eric Clapton. You've got I'm trying to think. I know Jimi
And
Hendrix.
There's some people that kind of talk down about bolt-on neck guitars. Man, some of the most influential music that's ever been written was played on a bolt-on neck guitar.
Oh Lord, yeah. And let's not forget David Gilmour.
Oh, yeah. You can't even talk about Strats and Fenders without mentioning David Gilmour, man.
Yeah, so I mean, this is just incredible. The time that was spent. Leo was a pioneer man. So
when did Leo pass away?
Well, Leo was born in 1909. He died in 1991. So you were alive.
91.
Weren't you?
Yes, sir. I'm a product of the 80s.
Yes, so in 1965, Fender sold it later. The Music Man and G&L. The guitars that were designed from the 1940s on are still used. The Fender Telecaster, 1950, was the first mass-produced solid-body electric guitar. 1954 on the Stratocaster is one of the most, and the P-Bass was 1951.
And those tellies, man, I mean, literally.
And what about those black-faced amps, though, too?
Oh, they're awesome. If you drove to Nashville tomorrow and started knocking on doors of country music players, guitar players, I would say you would see more Telecasters than anything you would see down there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Everything else, I mean, you would see Tellys, Les Pauls. And, I mean, he had the Fender Rhodes. So, Fender Rhodes. So,
I had an amp one time that was an amp.
So
that
we
was
will be right back.
I think it was owned. Oh, you got to go.
Yeah, we'll be right back. What can we do for you? How's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing, man?
I can't complain.
Cool spot. I've heard a lot of good things. I just haven't been in yet.
Yeah, welcome.
Cool. I got a couple guitars, not with me today, but I need you do repairs, man.
Yeah, we do.
So it's internal stuff, kind of electrical. The jacks are messed up.
Yeah.
Good connection.
So,
Stuff like that.
yeah. So if you look right here, it's got a list of all what we do and everything. So therefore, it tells you, and we do a lot more that's not on there. We're trying to fit. But there's a diagnostic to go through.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good to know. I'll be back out again tomorrow. So
Yeah. Bring it by. We'll get you all set up. We'll get you playing like a dream.
Awesome. And let's see, one more question. You by any chance carry DSRs?
A little bit. They're a little difficult to get. They kind of
You have any nylon strings? Or?
Yes, those right there. The Ernest Apollos.
Oh, yeah, okay. Cool.
Those are really great, made in USA.
Cool.
The white hat.
Yeah. All right. Gotcha. Good to know. These are the only ones you got right now?
Yep. Those are great though.
Yeah.
A lot of people use them.
Yeah. So that's one of the ones that I need repaired. It's kind of a classic style acoustic.
Yeah.
I need some strings on it too. I think I'm out right now.
We'll hook you up. We'll get it all taken care of. We'll get your guitars playing like they never played before.
Awesome, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah, heck of a business card.
Absolutely.
For sure. Anything I'll be able to help you with, I'll do it.
Brandon, right?
Yes, Brandon.
Well, nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow, brother.
Hey, see ya. All right, I'm back. Ready? All right, everybody, we are back here on the FretJob here. We
We were
were
talking about the Fender company.
Yeah.
Leo Fender.
talking about Leonis, Fender, all that good stuff. I mean, he was a pioneer. I think it was 1974. They sold back to the employees. And,
Really?
Yeah, from CBS. So CBS did some not so kosher things. No, but yeah. So don't
You ready for me to take?
Yeah, you got this one here because this is all you, not me.
All right. So I'm going to talk about one that you just can't hardly not talk about, and
Yes, you can.
that is C.F. Martin and Company. And you can't hardly talk about guitars without at least mentioning C.F. Martin.
And I've got C.F. Martin on the screen here, and I've got one of his
C.F.
original guitars.
C.F. Martin did some amazing things for the guitar world. He, first off, he started off making Stauffer style guitars. That's the style that he learned in. And then he got over here, and when he got over here, he started to really develop new things and come up with really good ideas that would change the face of guitar forever. I mean, they invented the dreadnought guitar. I mean, guitars they were small, and they kept getting a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger, and finally they got up to the dreadnought size. And it's funny because now they're going back down in size. People are starting to be more kind of drawn to the smaller body guitars, or a certain select group of people are.
Yeah, well, me too, because I don't want to, I like a smaller body. Especially when
I do too, man.
Especially when you're
but
chunky like me.
1833s when it all started. Now they're in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. They make some guitars in Mexico. They make, all their good stuff. Their best stuff is made in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Man, you can get anything from, I wouldn't say entry-level guitar because, you're still going to spend $600-700 to get started in a Martin. But you can go, and the sky's the limit. You can go from there to a D45, which is probably excess of $10,000 guitar. It just depends on how much bling you want on one.
I love bling on a guitar.
I like bling on a guitar,
like
too.
flashy.
I would love to have a D45, but man, Martin, they've done so much. They have made mandolins. I mean, they're not like really known for their mandolins, but I'll tell you something that they are kind of known for, and that's ukuleles. They're pretty known. Martin's pretty known for their ukuleles, man. Yes. I've got one of their vintage ones, and man, it's probably the best sounding uke I've got.
He is the curator of all things ukuleles. He is an encyclopedia of ukuleles.
It's just a tiny guitar with a couple strings missing. But, I'm a Martin guy. Everybody already knows that. They've got the OM. They've got the Dreadnought. They've got their little parlor guitars. They, believe it or not, Martin even makes a jumbo. I mean, they make a guitar that almost looks like a J200.
Yeah, but let's just be real. J200 is better.
Nah, I probably agree with you on that body style, but now in the flat top world, it is really hard tone wise to compete with a vintage Martin Dreadnought, like bluegrass style music, stuff like that.
I don't know. I got a Dove in here that says
you have a Dove in there that is awesome. I will have to admit that it's probably one of the best sounding acoustics I've ever played. But I just got a soft spot in my heart for C.F. Martin, man. I mean,
he's got a soft spot for C.F. Martin, and I've got a soft spot for Gibson.
Yeah, well, neither one of us can go wrong, really. I mean, those two companies, those are probably the premier guitar manufacturers out there. I mean, they are. They're the most known guitar makers out there. Martin, Gibson, and Fender. Those three names right there are really well-known names in the guitar world.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
They all make quality stuff. It's just a matter of what you like, man. I mean, I like the Martin sound. You like the Gibson sound.
For people that are asking, it stands for Christian Frederick Martin. Is what it stands for, by the way. In case you all didn't know,
yes, it does.
Tell you.
Sorry. And actually, the guy that's running the company now is Christian Frederick Martin III. So I think it's the third. It might even be the fourth now.
And they hired a new CEO, didn't they? Not too long ago.
Yeah, I think they did do some moving around, but C.F. Martin, the one that's living now, he's still a big part of their company. I tell you what, though, I watched a thing here recently where they were talking about tone woods and where guitar's going in tone woods. And, man, there's trouble on the horizon with some of our favorite tone woods. I mean,
Don't tell me
some
that,
of
please.
them. Well, I mean, that's when you start hearing it coming from Martin. They've got an extensive library of tone wood that they've kept for years, and they're starting to get concerned. He even made the comment in this interview I watched. He made the comment. He was kind of giving a little scenario, and he said, so the guy comes in and says, but I want a rosewood guitar. And he says, yeah, you can still get that. It's called a D45. So, we may be someday in the future, hopefully it'll be a long time, we may get to the point to where to get like a solid East Indian rosewood guitar.
We'll mention him next. We're gonna put all.
You're gonna end up in the high dollar stuff.
We're gonna put hopefully Bob Taylor, who Taylor Guitars we'll talk about in a second. He actually has a foundation where he plants more rosewood trees and he does all that stuff.
Ebony, he's big time in ebony too. They're really like they've done so well with their ebony program. Taylor has that they have no concerns about ebony right now. They're not concerned about it. Other companies are. Huh?
They need to do that to rosewood and everything else. So
they do, man. I mean, they're going to have to start finding more sustainable ways to harvest these woods and ways to raise the wood.
So I'll tell you, maybe sometime in the future here, me and old J-Dog Jonathan, we may have our own Save the Wood Foundation. You never know.
Yeah, and really, we could get lost talking about that. We that's another whole episode right there. Really talking about the
that's
sustainability.
That's not an episode that I'm mentally prepared for, so it's going to be a while.
Me either. I'm not ready for that one today either. But
we're gonna quick mention one that you're all like. Why didn't you mention Bob Taylor? So what do you know about Bob Taylor?
We just haven't got there yet.
Oh yeah.
Bob Taylor probably would have always came up in this conversation.
Well, I just thought about him.
I love his story. I've heard him tell his own story several times. So he bought a guitar company off of this guy. It was I'm trying to think of what I used to know what it was called.
Orange something.
They've got what is it?
It started with an O, like orange something, wasn't it?
No, it's they've got a model that is named it now.
And it was not made in San Diego either.
Let's see. So Taylor Guitars was founded in 1974 by Bob Taylor and Kurt Listig. So he ended up buying this guitar company, and they made basically one type of guitar, one body shape, one style of guitar.
What was the name of the company you bought?
I'm trying to get to it right now. Daggone it. Come on, Richard Poole, help me out. You probably know this. I'm not going to stop till I get the answer to this because it's right on the tip of my tongue, guys.
Lemonwood.
No.
That's what I'm thinking. Somebody told me I can't.
No, that's not it. He's got a model now that is named after it. American Dream. That's what it's called. So he bought this shop. Basically, these two guys, Kurt Listig and Bob Taylor, they met while they were both working at what they call a hippie guitar shop in San Diego called The American Dream. And they partnered and they bought that business when the owner, Sam Ratting was his name, he announced he was going to sell the shop. These two guys bought that shop, and when they did, they started making that same guitar, the American Dream guitar. Now they've got a model that's modeled after those first guitars, but that's all they pretty much made in the beginning. And then Bob Taylor started using his imagination, and when he did that, wow, he came up with some crazy stuff. Man, they've got like
the T5
they've got more than one proprietary bracing system that they use. Now they've got the V-class bracing, and I've played one of them. They're awesome, man. I think the sound is getting better and better in Taylor. I've always thought that Taylor had excellent playability, and they were so beautiful. But I always felt like there was some, probably because I'm a Martin guy, and you probably feel the same way because you're a Gibson guy. But there was always something in Taylor guitars that I didn't
are overrated.
hear. There was something I never heard in them that I always wanted to hear in a Taylor, and I just never heard that soul-touching tone. They're getting better.
I want to say this: point a pistol at me, beat me down. You can say that, I think Taylor guitars are overrated. And yes, you can say, well, I don't like him anymore. Well, congratulations. I think they're overrated. Therefore, I am being honest. I'm getting this off my chest. I just think they're overrated.
I'm torn on it, man. There's some Taylor guitars. I've got one sitting right here in front of me right now.
He's fixing to be like Will Smith at the Oscars and come across the screen.
No. I'm not that hardcore about Taylors. But my dad bought a Taylor guitar here a few years ago. It's a Taylor 410. It's made out of solid oven-call back and sides, and it's got a spruce top. But my brother-in-law used to have a solid Koa back and sides, spruce top Grand Auditorium. They all played like butter, man. I loved the action. I loved the way they felt in your hands. But there was something that I was missing tone-wise because I'm so used to that Martin sound, man. But this V-Class bracing, I played one here recently that was a 700 series, which is Lutz spruce top and Indian rosewood back and sides. It was slotted headstock. It was a grand concert. And it had the new V-Class bracing. It had that soul-touching tone that I was not expecting to have.
Okay, so here's I know there's other companies. You're like, why didn't you mention? If you think of something we didn't mention, put in the comment section. We'll have some honorable mentions: Rickenbacker, Guild, stuff like that. Some honorable mentions that are pretty okay. We've got Breedlove. I mean, some honorable mentions here on our list.
And I tell you what, and I know there'll be people out there that don't. They just haven't investigated these guitars as much as I probably have because I'm just super interested in them. But these new Asian guitar companies that are these import companies have changed their game in the last few years, and it's unreal. Especially
with Blue Ridge, man. I got a soft spot for Blue Ridge now because of you.
I do too. Blue Ridge, Eastman, Pono's a little less known. I just know about them because I'm a ukulele guy. But
yeah,
man, you can go out here and get something that's the equivalent of a really high-end American-made guitar for roughly about half the money you would spend on. But now it's not going to have the collectible value. It's not going to gain value like a vintage Gibson would sitting there appreciating in value. But if you're buying it just to play, it's worth giving them a shot.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. Oh, yes. Yeah, so...
you all right, buddy?
I'm never all right. These rosewood fumes have got me...
Rosewood. Hey, no kidding. Do you wear a mask when you work with rosewood?
Yeah, I should. I didn't yesterday, but I do.
I tell you what, the reason I ask is this book that I've got in front of me here, the Illustrated Directory of Guitars. There's a guitar in this book, and it's I think it's made by a guy named Tom Atkins.
Tom Atkins,
and it's an all Bubinga guitar.
Yeah, Bubinga.
It almost killed him building that guitar. He got a serious lung infection because he did not wear a mask. So,
all right.
Some of these woods, Mark Eubank, the guy that builds dulcimers down in Eubank, he bought some wood one time. He thought he was buying, I think I've got this right. I think he thought he was buying snake wood, but he actually bought lace wood. And
oh, jeez.
He was allergic to it, and it made him really sick.
There's people that are allergic to rosewood.
Oh, yeah. My father-in-law, Richard, he was watching a minute ago. He may still be. I'm not sure. But he he makes knives, and when he first started making knives, one of the first materials that we came across that we just happened upon some of it, a friend of mine gave me some, is Cocobolo.
Yeah,
and man, you really need to wear a mask when you work it too, and it's a real oily wood too. Good thing about Cocobolo
I
is
should have
it's
worn a
heavy.
mask yesterday because I found rosewood coming out of my nose all day.
No, that's not good.
Yeah, but I was in a hurry.
Luthier tip of the day: wear your mask.
Yes, wear your mask.
But yeah, man, there's so many big name guys out there that have brought guitar so far in the last 100 years or longer. You know, you're getting back into early 1800s with companies like Martin, and Gibson's not far behind them. They were in the mid to late 1800s.
Yeah, for sure. So
you're talking over 100 years ago, guys, and these dudes were doing revolutionary things in their industry that long ago.
Yeah, so so I'm going to drop a little bug in your all's ear. So think about who you want to see on the show. Think about getting your butt in here this week to the store if you live locally.
That's something I kind of hope we could touch on after our topic was what we want to do going forward with the fret job.
Yeah, go ahead.
And we need your all's input on this because, you know, we really enjoyed having a guest on when we did have a guest, and we're going to do some more of that. But we want some input on.
A lot of people are busy, by the way, just because of this time of year.
Yeah, what kind of guests would you all like to see? I mean, like we've said before, we can't guarantee anybody, but you know, there's probably somebody out there that
we'll get Pee Wee
that's got a good
here.
idea.
Is he still alive?
Well, I think he's still alive, but we're not having Pee Wee.
I'm kidding. I just want to
But we've got a couple in mind, and we're not going to announce them now because we don't know for sure if we've got them or not. But we've got a couple in mind that we're hoping to get on here, and we're looking for ideas. So help us think of somebody. Maybe one of you all know somebody that would be interested in coming in here and letting us pick their brain a little bit.
Yeah. So Jonathan would like to get Britney Spears on here, but I don't think that's going to happen.
And I can see her now twirling around. Oh man. But yeah, we just we want to come up with some new content, and we want to bring you all high quality content that's interesting, and the best way I think for us to do that is to get viewer input on what they want to see from the fret job going forward.
So if you don't know, Jonathan grew up in the 90s. So
I did.
Yeah. So we try to get the
90s.
Yeah, Jonathan was a huge
No, I was not. Don't let this guy do this to me on here, guys. This is live.
He was a huge Wiggles fan, and we tried to get them on. That was his favorite band.
I don't even know who Wiggles is, man.
See, he's
you guys. Brandon's out of control now, so
we're just having more fun.
I've lost total control of him.
Oh.
But
so
yeah, man.
For those of you watching, where you think like this is a good stopping point, or what you think?
Well, I thought maybe you might mention some of your. You got a couple things coming up, don't you? Coming up pretty soon, shop-wise.
Oh yeah. So I've got the guitar battle this Friday. Jay here is the judge. So it shall be.
Tries every way in the world to make me a new name.
No, Jonathan's a judge here. It should be interesting. This event's going to be live streamed.
Yeah.
And 6K, so.
And I'm sure you've got some master shredders coming, don't you? I mean,
I have no idea. We hope it's going to be a pretty big thing. And then May 20th, we've got our 1-year anniversary bash. And so we are we're going to get down, turn around, boot, scoot, and boogie today. I'm just using that statement.
Man, that guitar battle, I really hope some super guitar players show up because I know they're out there. We've got so many guitar players out here local.
Keep
local
it clean.
that are awesome.
Keep it clean. Keep it friendly. You can trash talk, but keep it. You want to leave this place as friends. You don't want to leave this place where you trash talk somebody and, well, let's go in the parking lot. No. You want to leave this place and all in fun.
Yeah. The last person that's going to learn anything is the guy that comes in there thinking they already know everything. So kind of be open-minded about it, because you may walk
everybody's
away.
going to have the same skill as you are. And we don't want no bullies in here, nothing like that. We want to keep.
You may walk away a better guitar player if you're open-minded about it.
You want to make friends, and always, not everybody's going to have the same skill as you are. Some people are going to have lower and higher. You've got to come in there with a humble attitude and just be happy.
Yep.
This is for fun. Bragging rights and all kinds of other junk.
And I know there's some guys out there that are wicked guitar players. Local. We've got so much musical talent around here in Central Kentucky, man. And just Kentucky in general. I mean, there's a lot of high-end talent that comes out of Kentucky. I mean, look at Chris Stapleton, man. He's out of Kentucky.
Yeah. Look at
if you've got some
Lauren
skills,
Elena.
if you've got guitar skills, bring them with you and come to this guitar battle, because it may spark something in you.
So our judges are Jaden Smith, Jonathan McWhorter, and Matthew Dixon.
Matthew Dixon.
So Matthew Dixon is a banjo teacher here and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jaden's what I consider a pro guitar player. And
Yeah, I do too, man. Jaden is I'm thoroughly impressed with his skills, man. He's a great guitar player.
And then we got.
And I haven't got to see a whole lot of him, but he's good at it.
You get
what
to
I
see
have
some
seen.
more this Friday.
But he's not in the competition.
He's not. He's a judge. But
We're not. He's a judge. We're
and
not,
we do
we're
got
not
people.
bringing.
We do got people that are coming just to watch. So we are going to try to make it fun. We're going to try to make it, but keep it clean. And those of you that are coming to watch, I don't want to hear you yelling at people, foul language. Keep it friendly, or we will have one of the judges or somebody escort you out of this place.
Maybe some. There could be kids there. So.
Yeah, it's not kids going to be live stream. This is a family-friendly event. I don't need somebody saying, hey, I heard some guy yelling the F word and profanities out in my parking lot. I don't want to go see him.
Yep. Lead by example.
Lead by example. And no alcohol, no drugs, none of that stuff. We're going to keep it a fun thing. If you think you have to come here with drugs, alcohol, or anything, or something, then this is not the place for you and not the event for you.
Hang out at the house.
Yes. If you think you got to come here and get wild and get crazy, then this is not the place. This is for fun. Get wild and crazy in a fun, respectful manner.
Yep. I think it'll be an awesome little event.
Yeah,
man.
so,
I hope the weather's agreeable. I hope everything turns out the way that you're planning on.
I mean, it's going to be indoors anyway, so no matter about the weather.
Oh, it's going to. Okay. I wondered about that. I meant to ask you how you were going to set it up.
Yeah, indoors, and so it's going to be like a face-off, like one-on-one. So basically, there's a bracket. You go one-on-one against somebody else. So you start off the round, and the judge is like, okay, you have 15, you have 30 seconds to give us a couple of riffs and a couple of licks, and you come up with. And then it's going to continue after that, and you'll be like, okay, when you're done, your opponent will go up, and, uniqueness, creativity, how you execute it,
So
all
are
that
there
stuff.
categories? Are there different categories?
so-
How are we?
Yeah, so
I'm interested in that, how we're doing it.
Yeah, I'm explaining that now. So after you do a couple licks and trade off, then you'll do it again. You'll give us like we're gonna have another category after that, and it's gonna be give us your best chord pattern, like give us your best your best chord, your best stuff like that. What you got, like your chord pattern, your little riff thing. Then after that's really where it gets heated. Then after that, the judges are not going to tell you when to go. You are going to have a lick battle. You are going to have a solo battle. There's going to be a
Background track.
Backing track that gets played, and you have to play along with it. And you have to. It's going to be a faster backing track, and then you basically trade licks off with your opponent, solos off with your opponent, just like
all improv.
Yeah, all improv. You trade off with your opponent. And kind of, you don't have to copy what your opponent does, sort of like they did in Crossroads, but sort of like that, back and forth until the time's up.
I think that'll be the highlight, man, right there, because, man, that's
you gotta go heated.
That's the test. Improv is the test,
Yeah,
man.
so you
to
are
me.
going, and whatnot, and you've got to be able to execute that well, how you play it, how you go with it. I mean, you are going finger to fingers with your opponent, and whoever executes it the best, uniqueness, whoever goes, whatever they do, whoever does it. So Jay's excited. I know John's excited.
Yeah, I am, man.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be a fun night and whatnot, and I was going to see about getting a food truck out here for people that are watching, but I didn't know how many people are going to show up.
Tell them again what day this is.
Friday, April 1st. This Friday.
Friday, April the 1st. That wedding I was talking about, it's not till Saturday, so.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be it's going to be a fun night to get out of the house and just enjoy a little bit. So it's for everybody to get out of the house to get a little break from their run and get out and have fun. So we go to the last man standing, and we're going to have a loser's bracket too. We thought about that because, or some people said double elimination. It depends. Yeah. We'll talk about it. And by the way, the judges have the right to change the rules at any given time. The judges, at their discretion, the judges have the right to disqualify somebody and let them not participate at their discretion. They do not have to give you a reason why or anything like that. They can just simply say, hey, you are you are out. And that money you have turned in is non-refundable.
But, if you come in there and you act respectful and you play fair, we're not going to have any problems, man. Everybody's going to have a good time. We're going to have some good music. We're going to hear some good talent that night, and I'm banking on that.
So we want to make it fair for everybody and whatnot. So
good episode, man.
Yeah, good episode. So my name is Brandon. I'm your host here at the FretJob. And
I'm Jonathan.
All right. So y'all have a great week. Check us out on Facebook. You can also check Jonathan out on Facebook at Jonathan at Lincoln Realty. And also catch him out this week. He'll be doing live streams from Lincoln Realty. So check out for those. If y'all need of a house, hit this man up. He will get you taken care of.
New stuff in the works.
Yeah, for sure. So awesome.